Mest vi sätter upp det för att visa hur det ser ut. Det är inte
Eller är det någon sladd som går där?
Ja, nu så vi sätter oss ner.
Ja, det är sladden som går ut.
Ja, just det.
Ja, okej. Ja, då får det vara så.
Yes.
Okay.
So hello everyone and welcome to this presentation of Dino Dynasty. My name is Jon Manker and I am the game designer of this game, and with me today I have
Johan Egerkrans, who is, well, I'm the illustrator, I suppose.
Yeah,
and sort of the originator.
and the originator of the idea.
Of the books.
Of the books, exactly.
The game is based on.
And then I had an idea of making a dinosaur game for quite some time, since I did some other evolution games, and also people had told us this should be something we do, but it never really was the right time or so. And then our paths crossed.
Yeah.
And then you had done all these wonderful artworks and all the 4 books about this. So then we made this into a game about this using your illustrations. And you have also been extremely helpful in your expertise on dinosaurs, of which you have a great amount of knowledge, together with Matti, who has been doing development here at Ion, who is also a dino nerd.
Yeah. And also really studied up. He just went to town and studying for this
He actually did, yeah. True. That's true.
I've been sort of accumulating knowledge over quite a few years.
Yeah. Were you a dinosaur nerd as a kid?
Yeah, I was. I was. Then I had a brief period when I was a teenager. Then when other things sort of caught my attention a bit, so I had a sort of lagged there for a few years, but then I picked it up again. It's always been an interest of mine. Dinosaurs and evolution in general.
Yeah, evolution, and that's I really have been a fan of evolutions I don't know when I
was the story of life on Earth.
Yeah, exactly.
From beginning to end.
From beginning to end. Probably.
Thanks to us.
That's really interesting. And ever since, I don't know, I remember an old game I had, just 1-page simple game called Tellus, that I got when I was like 5 years old. And I was intrigued by the images, and it was about, you started as some bacteria and walked, old style game. You walked all the way to modern times.
Where you see evolution as sort of as very linear. It's like you begin here as a small slime thing, and then you turn into a fish, and then you turn into a human.
And then you become a human. But it's still, as for me as a kid, it was an influence, I would say, that is related to games, other things as well. Maybe this one didn't show in the camera, maybe a little later. I think the camera now is just showing us. Here's the box. I just wanted to show that, featuring several of your beautiful illustrations. I'll put it here so we can see it later. But before we do the setup, and now we also have help from Rickard today, who is working here at Ion, and he's doing the camera work. So soon, or maybe even now, he can switch to get us down in the corner and to get the top camera running. And it seems as if he has done so, yes. Excellent. So then this is the game board, or the game area. Here is the board, and as you can see, it's empty. And it's empty because you build the map while you're playing. You are playing as one of a dinosaur.
The game board can be different sizes depending
yes,
on how
yes,
many
that's
are,
true. Also, yeah,
depending on the scenario.
Good point. So here is one scenario that I just wanted to show. We have this is like the medium-sized board, and it can be from like this size and all up to maybe 2 steps outside.
Yeah,
this
because
one.
it's a sort of a puzzle.
Yeah, you puzzle these together.
Yeah.
So that's 5 different standard sizes, and then you use a setup card. You get the board going there. We'll see that soon. These are different species that you can play as, and you actually play as one of the. Is it clade or family?
We call them clades.
Clades, yeah.
So there's 10 different dynasties or clades. So a clade is a group of animals that are more closely related to each other than any other thing.
Yeah.
that's sort of a very bad definition of a clade.
Yeah.
But these are all, so they're all clades, and they're all most of them are sort of genera almost, but sometimes they're more like families. But those sort of what we work with today I shouldn't say we, but what paleontologists and biologists work with today are clades and genera and species. Yeah. So, for instance, you're holding Saltasaurus.
Yeah.
That's a genera, and then this particular species is Saltasaurus. I don't remember that one. We could take another. If we take Microraptor, the genera is Microraptor, and the species name is Microraptor huei, I think. Yeah. For instance.
And this is part of the clade.
Usually you talk about dinosaurs as a species, but you're often referring to the genera. So whatever. So it doesn't matter. But they're all clades.
Yeah. So technically, each player color is a clade, and then you play one of the generas. But in this game, we kind of call them species.
One of the species within that clade. So you got the clade Ceratopsians. You got another clade Tyrannosauroids. Yeah. And you got and this Dromaeosaurs, for instance, and Ceratopsia. Different groups, basically.
Yeah. And also, I would like to. I don't know if Rickard can see it, but if there is some, maybe if he can see the chat in either. This is going to Twitch and to YouTube. So if he or someone can see the chat in Twitch or YouTube, and there's something we need to answer, someone gives us a question or something. Please just make sure we get that information somehow, because in this room we don't see the chat at the moment. So that's that.
We should have it on the screen.
We could have it on the screen. That's true. It should be something we do. Or we could have a separate one. But anyways, at the moment we don't. So if there is something, they will come to us and tell us verbally. So you play one of these, as we call them, species then, and we prepared here. So you have Eotyrannus, and I have Gigantoraptor.
Smallish English Tyrannosaur.
Tyrannosaur, yeah. And to win the game, we will have places to go here on the map, but to win the game, we do actions with our herds of dinosaurs, or dinos as we call them in the rules, and the ultimate goal is to be able to complete as many of the challenges as possible, and you have 1 challenge per player plus 1 extra challenge. So if these were now they are shuffled, and in this case I just drew 3 of them. There's a bunch of them in the game, and I drew 3 of them. Conquer, take 1 token each time you compete and win the attack. So if you compete against someone and win, you get a token in this case, and that token would be this token, and you collect these tokens, and the one who has the most tokens at the end gets the card. The most herds, so that just has many different herds of dinosaurs, just count them at the end.
Each meeple represents a herd.
No, each group of meeples.
Each group of meeples.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have you can have a herd could be one meeple, but it could also be. So it's the number of you have in one biome.
I understand. I understand correct.
Yes, and then herds on isolated biomes, and that's a special thing in the game, that you have a biome that only has one different biome as their neighbor apart from water, and then they're considered
like
isolated.
An island biome.
Kind of island biome, or island in the jungle, so to speak. So, and then let's say we were setting up the game, then these three could be the different, because we are 2 players, and then we get 3 challenges. And then we also draw one challenge, which is the tiebreaker challenge, but you don't show that yet.
Okay. Yeah.
So in case someone are equal, we flip that towards the end of the game, so you can try and work towards it. Yes. So let's see if I got the setup. There's one more thing. Just wanted to double check one thing.
I thought you knew everything.
Yeah,
I thought you had everything.
we changed this. We changed this just recently. So we have the. There's 2 things for the. I should know anything, since I kind of designed the rules. Although Matti has been quite involved in this, and you have also been involved in the rules to some degree.
But I'm crap at learning rules. So I gotta alibi.
But there is one thing we changed last week about the challenge card. I just want to double check so I say correctly.
I usually have to play a game like 10 times before I learn the rules.
Yes. Yeah, so we have one card that tells you. So we have one card which is a tiebreaker, and you know that. So if it's equal, let's say we have as many herds, then no one will get that.
Okay.
If it's equal, you don't get it. And you win this and I win this, then it's a tiebreaker. And then this one, which we know from the start, tells us we can go for this, but it only counts if there is a tie.
Okay.
So if we put time and effort into making that challenge, which this one is dinos on event biomes, then we would be good if it's a tie.
And then there's a sequel.
And then this one is something we show when the last place is filled here. And then, what did you want something like that?
Yeah, we just got one question here. Everything looks great, but if it would be possible, if you can show the iconography at some point, like showing
this one.
title and cards. I think that's generally, if you want to point at this camera, maybe.
Yeah.
When you,
I can point you to there, yeah. And then you can switch to it, maybe.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. So good. And this one is when you fill it, then you flip this one to see when it's actually ending. Because as you know, probably you are watching this stream, this is a game where still a few details it's
sorting out the bugs.
Sorting out.
Yeah.
And one was that it felt like the game ended too abruptly.
Okay.
And then we have, so you have the tiebreaker, but you also have an end game condition. So when it's filled, it doesn't end. You flip this, and then you see the next time this happens, then the game ends.
Okay.
So you have like a few, one or more turns.
Sort of a final stretch.
Final stretch where you can, and that has worked pretty well in playtest. So I would draw one random, that is a tiebreaker, and 3 win conditions.
Cool.
There you go. So that's what you're supposed to do, and you have your dino and you have your actions. And the actions are, and maybe we should show. No, we can talk about the actions first. They're pretty straightforward.
We could put it
You could put it there.
there.
Yeah.
You can see.
People see it. So the actions are compete, which is go into someone else's biome and
Roughing them up.
roughing them up. Sorry, I should maybe show it like this. So you are on biomes. This is a biome, and you might be here. And then you might want to attack me, and then you go in there, and then we have a competition.
Yeah, and as just to be clear, this card is 2 different biomes.
Yeah.
So this red one is Badlands.
That's Badlands.
And this one is Shrubland. So you can have 2 or 3 biomes on every single card, depending on.
Yeah, it's actually only 2, 1 or 2.
1 or 2, yeah.
Yeah. And then when you build the map, it will. So this one can maybe build
Yeah.
like this, and then here's only 1 biome.
Yeah, and then you got
Yeah.
this one
Like
has,
that, for example.
yeah, like so.
Yeah.
So this one has, that's Badlands. So this is an entire biome.
That's
All these
one.
4 cards are
Yeah.
the same biome.
It's
But
just
then
so
you
it's
got-
considered as one space.
Yeah.
You can. So if you have one sitting like, let's say, a lot of Badlands here. Let's do it like this. Then you can take 1 step into here, or you can take 1 step into here, because all this is the same space, so to speak. The spaces or areas which you count as a step is the biome and not the tiles,
No.
which is an interesting factor of the game. So, and if you were here, then you could take 1 step in here and attack me, because it's the same
Yeah,
biome.
it's the same biome. Exactly.
And to do that, that will be the compete action. And then you have the spread action, which is you put another dino into the biome where you are, or you put an egg in the biome next to you. Or in some cases you could put both, 1 here and 1 there. Then you have migrate, which is moving to somewhere. So if you're here, you might want to move to some other place, and then you see 4 biomes that are available in this market. So you have some options, and maybe you want to start a new biome over here, and then you draw one to choose one of these, place it here, and move into it. But you can't place it like this because it needs to match. So you can't place it there. There's no side that match here.
No.
But it's
you can
enough
place
that
it.
if only 1 match, you could put it like there. This is not a match anywhere, but there's a match, and that's enough. As long as there is some match, not diagonally. Or you could put it there. And if you put it there, then you could move and here jump over to that biome. Because this one is now connected.
Or 2.
Or just move it there.
The rainforest. So this is rainforest, and that's swamp.
That's forest.
That's forest. Yeah.
Yeah. And the swamp this is swamp, I believe.
Okay. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. So that was the migrate action. You place a tile and move dinos there. And then we have evolve.
And you don't place all the times at the same time.
No, you choose. So you can. So actually, the wording is optionally place a new biome and then optionally move.
Yeah.
If a biome was placed, you have to move into that biome.
Oh.
If you don't move place, you can move any group anywhere. And then finally we have the evolve, and I think this shows down here. Here are the same grid as the actions. So the actions have different values in the game depending on where how you have evolved. Let's see, that one should be there. So these are things that you can move, how you place your eggs, how big you are, your adaptability, and what your diet is. And when you change one of these, both the squares to the side here called action frames are moved. So if I change my diet up 1 step, I will then be able to evolve in a different biome, and I will be able to have a bit smaller herds. If I move it up, it would be another biome and bigger herds. So it's always 2 things that change, and usually it's 1 for the better and 1 for the worse. For example, if I take my size up, I will be better at fighting, but I will not be able to lay as many eggs. So that's
They're sort of interconnected. There's a sort of
yeah,
seesaw balance to it.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's the actions, and then there is, when it comes to the biomes, we can show the different. Maybe we can show the different icons now. So I'll hold this to here. I hope it shows well, and we have icons for different standard biomes up here, and we have the event biomes, and I'll mention them just next after we have shown this. We have some iconography here you might want to see. It's about the actions, and then there are also some icons on each of these, of course, from eggs and dinos and those evolve things on there. Oh, I'm pointing to the wrong side. There you have different evolve things, and here you see the biome icons again, showing the same as they were on the other one.
Yeah, the different biomes are forest, represented by a ginkgo leaf, and you have rainforest, represented by I think it's supposed to be a cycad, which is sort of, and then we have swamp, we have shrublands, badlands, and water.
Yeah.
And then we have event cards when something sort of cataclysmic happens.
Exactly.
Because the idea is this takes place over millions of years.
Yeah,
it's
each
sort of
turn-
set in the late Cretaceous or in the Cretaceous. But
In the
it's sort of-
Cretaceous, yeah.
the idea is that time sort of moves on and the creatures evolve and things happen to the Earth as well. So you got the continents are sort of breaking up.
There might be meteorites coming.
There might be meteorites slamming down. There might be mountain ranges coming up or coming down.
Yeah.
And volcanoes. And floods and all that kind of stuff. And it also sort of the weather will change.
Somehow.
And the climate will change.
Yeah, it's some kind of representation. Yes.
Yeah, I'm thinking you could maybe grab the laptop and you have the chat on the right side there.
Oh,
Another
excellent.
question, and the art is amazing as well.
Sorry, thank. Yeah, I don't know. What did you say was missing?
Sorry?
Did you say that?
No, someone commenting on the art is.
Oh, the art is amazing.
Yeah, and
there you
basically
go.
all the games.
I thought you said the art is missing. No,
it's
the art is amazing.
The artist's missing.
The artist is missing. Look over there. No, seriously.
Thank you.
So yes, yes, showing the card, and there is someone answering. So, how are the complexities this game compared to other Ion titles? Yeah, well, we're doing. So we are doing more family-style games now, but I would say this one is to the lighter side, definitely when it comes to to Ion games.
I'm an idiot, so I think it's really complicated.
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're an idiot.
but
learning rules is not your strong suit.
It's not complicated compared to your other.
No, it isn't. But it's, I would say maybe it's 2.76 maybe when it comes to complexity rating. I don't know. That's a vote. Something is voted, as you probably know. But it gives you a hint. It's similar to Stegwets, maybe a bit more. It's more complicated than Stegwets. Maybe like Dawn of Titan, less complicated than Pax Viking, much less complicated than High Frontier. Much less complicated. So yeah, and it's from 10 years and up, and I think that's a valid time, or a valid age
assessment. Yeah.
Assessment, yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, you play tested it with some kids.
Yeah, we did.
And it worked really
it
well.
works, yeah, and I mean, we had like 12, 13-year-olds, and they could just go about with the rules, no problem, by themselves. And 10-year-olds
just give them the rules and they're up and running. So.
And it's been play tested with 6-year-olds as well, I think. But then obviously you need parents being there, but they can appreciate it. Hi there.
As long as
can
you
you
don't
show
start eating the meeples.
Yeah. Can you show the standard? Yes, I can. These one are not final. This is a relatively big dice.
I don't think the black ones on black won't.
No, that was a bad idea.
So that's perhaps better.
That's better. And here is one. And the thing is, they're gonna be so you can if Rickard can switch to the big screen, or maybe I should show it here instead. Is that better? Let's see now. I'll put this here. So I can show these ones here. And the thing is that it's gonna be. Oh, now it shows the big screen. Okay, continue with the big screen. Very good, very good, very good. I know it goes back. Okay, so how are we? you saw it there anyway. I hold it up, and now we're back on the big screen. I think. So they're going to be different size. I think they're going to be from 30 millimeters to maybe 12. So they're going to be the big ones are obviously going to be bigger,
and each group has their own.
Yeah.
Each species doesn't have their own
no,
meeple,
no.
but each group has their own
each clade.
So this is each clade.
Yeah.
So this is the Tyrannosauroid clade meeple, and this is the Oviraptorosaur meeple.
Yeah. And they are then, inspired by how they actually look. And they're going to be, you have to keep it to some...
I mean, they're very stylized, of course.
Yeah, of course. And the big ones are much bigger than the small ones, but still they need to fit within these smaller biomes.
So they're not to complete scale.
No,
but
so it's up to, I think, about 30 millimeters, the biggest one.
Yeah, the big sauropod is still quite a lot bigger than the others.
Yeah. And then, so each player, you can only play, so you represent a clade, so the player color and the clade is the same. And that's why you have one meeple side for each of them. And there are 6 in the game, and then there is an expansion.
There's an add-on, yeah.
So 6 clades in the game, 24 species to play around with. And let's see, now was it something else? Galenus. There is. Yes, in Galenus there was a wooden piece. Some of them were pretty small. So in this one, it's you won't feel that for these meeples. You're welcome. And then let's see, is there anything else here? Sorry. And Mats Larsson, I guess you are referring to with possibly some points. Yes, that was. So these were the comments. Excellent. I'll put this here and look at it whenever needed.
You kan sätta den där.
Ja, precis. Kanske det är bra. Se om det kommer upp någonting. Du som har så skarp syn kan se.
Ja.
Om och när det kommer upp något.
Sådär.
All right, so we were talking about the actions you're doing, and the final thing about the map is the event biomes. And let's say these look like this, and you are here, and you are. We can put a few more out just to make it more. The game has gone on for a while, and it looks something like this.
That's an event, right?
Yeah. So let's say we put that one.
So
maybe like that. And then you decide you want to migrate to there, or maybe you want to migrate, so you're here, you want to migrate out here. And then you draw one of these. Water fits everything, so that can always be fit, and you might put it like that and move to here. But a crater was shown. This is a meteorite. So these are events. We have the crater.
yeah, the events are mixed in with the other.
The events are mixed in, and when they come up, they immediately happen. There could be deserts, it could be tundra, and you told about them earlier. We have the mountains, which is technically tectonic plate movement, and thus changing.
Yeah, it represents a new mountain chain rising
mountain
up.
And then you can't, maybe you're not adapted to live in the mountains. And this one, let's say this happened, then you immediately draw this. You roll the biome die, which has one of each 6 standard biomes on it, and this was Badlands, and then you have to put this on a biome with Badlands on it. You probably don't want to drop the meteorite in your own head, so you will probably put it here. And then everybody in a radius of 1 square around here, including this one, will die.
Yeah.
So the meteorite is the most, for obvious reason, the most dramatic of them.
Yeah.
The other ones, half of them dies, or the milder ones, it might be if you get tundra, you can't put eggs there and you can't multiply there, but otherwise no difference. So they are different severity to them, but and the meteorite being the worst one.
Yeah, and some of the dinosaurs are adapted to, for instance, tundra.
Yeah, then to tundra, and then you can adapt to
they're
it.
sort of ice dinosaurs.
Yes.
But none of them are sort of meteorite-proof.
No, there
no
are
matter how armored they
no,
are.
that's a hard one too.
They're still gonna die off.
But we have this thing that, as you remember, a space is, or a biome is big. Could be bigger than a square. So if you were inhabiting this biome, you would die because you can't flee anywhere. If you were there, you would die. You can't. But if you're here, you can actually exist over here, and then you don't have to be affected by the biome. So if you're in a biome that stretches outside of the event
zone
radius, then you survive. And then when the effect has been handled, then you get something called morph tokens, and you roll a die to see how many. In this case, 1. You draw a random one and put here, and in this case it happened to be colonial nesting. So, which means you can put eggs not only on biomes next to you, but also on your own biome.
And you sort of pick that up as a...
And then you can, the first one to come here can pick it up.
Yeah. And then you get that ability.
And you get that ability,
you get to
and you
evolve
place
that
it
ability.
on this, you have your own board, and you place it, you have 3 spaces for these, and provided that you fulfill the different criteria, so this one looks like this, and then there is size and type criteria on it. You are 3 different types of dinosaurs, and there's a size requirement. This one is very good, anybody can have it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in size, and all 3 icons up here. Up there. But some of them are restricted. And if you match the restriction, you can take it to your board, place it there, and then that's now active on you. And it simulates that you manage to go and live on this new kind of biome and take it.
That event sort of sparked off evolution, so
exactly.
Sort of speeded up evolution.
Yeah, because
for those in the vicinity.
Yeah.
And colonial nesting is, of course, that you nest in colonies.
Yeah.
Which sort of defends the eggs and
and also these we always try, as you know with Ion's game, we try to make some reality behind the concepts we put into the game.
And there's a lot of proof that many dinosaurs nested in colonies.
Yes, exactly.
Like birds do today.
Like birds do, exactly. So that's that one. I think there was one more thing about the game, and you do the actions. In the end, you try to see which one. I had something in the back of my head, but anyways, you have these. Some of them you have from the start. Yes, that's the one. This game is not only played in one scenario. You can, if you want, play it several scenarios back to back. And if you're playing them without
like a campaign.
Like a campaign, exactly. So there are 5 different sizes of these scenario cards, and the campaign is one of each size, growing to bigger and bigger. And if you play them back to back, if you can leave the map out, then you can just add size to it. Otherwise, you remove it and only save one of the space of where you have a herd. You can choose any of them. And then do
we have a companion campaign? The companion is a time period in the Cretaceous. We should have a companion campaign.
Maybe that's a good idea. Excellent.
I think it's in the Cretaceous at least.
Yeah.
Anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. So that's anyways. You can play 5 of them in a row, saving the map or restarting with a new map each time. It's handled in the rules. Another way to play it is you can play.
And then you can change species, because that sort of gives you the ability to because when you play one game, you remain as one
Yeah.
species. But then you can change depending on how you evolve in
Exactly.
a single in a single game. You can in the next game
Yeah.
evolve into another species.
Yeah. So if you, for example, here you're Egerkrans,
Within the same clade, of
if
course.
you're if the way you have put these ones
Yeah.
during gameplay and these ones, if you at least have them, so if you want to change to the Moros, you need to find claws and you need to move these around a little bit.
Yeah,
And there is a player aid that will help you see which of the. So there are 3 others that you can change to, and that's, of course, it could be because the map is oriented in a way that it's smarter to have this. You need to know the game pretty well.
Yeah.
But
you don't start as a T-Rex. You evolve into a T-Rex.
well, you can. Start.
Well, you can
start.
start
You can
as
choose
one.
to start as
Yeah.
one. We didn't put any, time into which one should be before the other. But you start as something. If you start as T-Rex, you can also evolve back to something other. If you can
or
just orient
shrink it to something.
Yeah, exactly. And that
And
might,
the idea behind that is evolution is not. There's no real goal to evolution.
No,
It's really easy.
it's just
I mean,
adaptability.
the sort of what we talked about, the old game you played.
Yeah.
That's
linear.
that's sort of the classic.
Yeah.
This classic view of evolution, that it's linear.
Exactly.
That it sort of goes from something less evolved, less sort of sophisticated into something
more.
cool, like us or a Tyrannosaurus Rex. But depending on the situation, if you were a Tyrannosaurus Rex, it could be beneficial to actually shrink and get smaller.
Yeah.
So you got relatives of T-Rex that are much smaller than T-Rex.
Yeah.
And some of them are like Nanooksaurus, for instance, is adapted to. It's very close to the T-Rex, but it's adapted for cold, and it's smaller and chunkier.
Yeah.
And it's
More body
probably
fat.
completely feathered and so on. So you can always, and that's sort of what we try to visualize here.
Exactly.
That evolution can sort of. We see it. It's the general sort of the classic view of seeing it is like going backwards, but it's not backwards. It's just whatever fits the current environment, what's optimal.
Exactly.
And that's where you want to go.
And that's where we want to go.
And sometimes it's not good being a big T-Rex. Sometimes it's much better being a small
And that
animal.
depends on what are the other players doing right now,
exactly.
and how is the map looking. And especially if you play the game back to back and the map is growing, the old map is there. So your strategic decision to move to a different species in your clade could relate to how the map looks.
But I really like that aspect, because in a classic game that was sort of based on this sort of old-fashioned view of evolution, the end goal would be to be T-Rex, because that's the coolest one, and that's not how this works.
No, it's a cycler in that way, and you can go to any of the 4 of them you have. And also, as I said, you can play a team game, and then 2 to 3 player in a team, and it could be 2 to 3 teams. So this is a up to 6 player game. And each could be everybody have their own, or it could be teams. And team could also be a handicap thing, which worked well in PAX Viking, for example. And here it's based on teams, so you could play 1 against 2. Could be a parent against his 2 kids or her 2 kids. And then the team counts everything together, and they can be on the same biome without affecting each other. So it's like kind of simulates symbiosis in a way. And then you also have the fact that you can...
Or at least some sort of co-evolution.
Co-evolution, not symbiosis, right. And then in that case, maybe you want to evolve or change species, because it would be a better combo in your team. So that's part of it as well. Yeah, that's what I was planning to say. I think we pan through most of the game concepts.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's probably some things that aren't crystal clear. But
no, but let's see if there are more. I love how your lighter games still manage to be so clever and unique. Light can still be smart. That said, my favorite iron game is Bios Origins. Oh yeah, that's pretty complex. Thank you. I'm happy to hear you say that. I really like I was part of designing that game, and it's a civilization game. So
you can just put it here.
yeah, true. And then let's see now. Oh, that's Iron Game Design answering. Thank you very much. Excellent.
And something else?
No, that was the last one.
That was the last one. Can we move up?
You can draw that one, I guess. I think we talked with the other ones. This was the about the maples and those things. Yeah. Art estimation. Yeah. So if we just to sum up, maybe we should put this one out. How would this look at the start of the game then? We were following this breaking of West Gondwana.
Scenario.
That scenario.
Really
and then on this we see question marks and we see T and E. So in that case we would take turns and let's say I start. I would choose either to place on a question mark, which would be to choose my starting location, or place a T, which is any kind of tile, or E, choose one of the event tiles. And there are some event tiles that are ready to be used. So you can choose one of those to place there from the start. It doesn't have an effect if it goes up there, but it's still there. So maybe I would choose to place such an event first, and I place it. I draw the top one, and it's here.
Yep.
You can see it here. And then it would be your turn to either, now this is taken, so either choose one territory tile to place there, or choose a territory tile to have your starting location on.
Starting location. So I put, perhaps not that one, I put that one over there.
Yeah. And then you have, on the board it says how many meeples you have, or dinos you have from start, and then how many you have in total, and how many eggs you have in total. So for you, the starting ones would be 2, right?
Yeah.
I think. And so you take 2 of your meeples.
Yeah, exactly.
And put them on any of the biomes on that tile you put there.
Yeah. What are the ones that I like?
You like swamp.
I like swamp. I should have taken
But
a swamp.
you can also... Yeah, you should have taken a swamp. There is a swamp, so probably you could have taken that one.
Okay.
Otherwise you can evolve to something else, but at the moment...
Yeah, at the moment,
yeah.
But I can still live there.
You can still live there, it's just that you can't evolve.
No, exactly.
And maybe put them laying down.
I put my meeples over there.
And then I would choose, maybe I want to be not too close to you, but I'll put it... and I like wood, so you took the only wood one. That was smart. So I'll just take this one then, and I'll put it pretty close to you, so
That's jungle.
I know, but there is no wood. So I'll just put it close to you, so I can walk to the woods soon. There will be wood, for sure in the game.
There would be wood.
There would be wood, and that's 2 as well. And then finally, you can choose any tile to put there.
Okay.
Which is close to me.
Then, so I will...
You want swamp out there.
Swamp, and then I can put 2.
Then you don't put anything. That's just a standard tile. You only have one starting place. So that was that, and then it would start with me doing an action.
You shouldn't replace all the other ones as well.
No, only the one. If your player, the number of players, these ones are starting positions. These ones are always there.
Okay.
So only the T and the E are placed. So it looks a little different depending on how many players you are. So I would start doing actions. I might want to spread. No, I think I want to... Yes, I want to spread. Let's say I want to spread. Then I check here, I can place 1 dino... sorry, I start there. So I place 1 dino or 2 eggs. So I want to place 2 eggs then on something next to me. I place them there. Then it's your turn.
I want to place a new...
You want to migrate.
I want to migrate, exactly. So I will take... I can only choose between these.
Yeah.
I choose this one.
That one.
No, I choose that one.
That one.
But it's still no swamps. Bollocks. Oh well. But I'm still creating jungle environment there, and then I move my.
Yeah.
But that's the same biome, right?
Yeah, you
So
can move to the jungle,
move
however.
to the jungle. Yeah.
Yeah. But it
Doesn't really matter.
And then it's my turn again. These eggs survived. He could have reached them and stomped them, and then they would be dead. But if they survive, one egg makes one dino. So now I have 2 herds in 2 biomes, yeah, that's how it goes on. Then we could evolve to change these, or compete to try and take each other out. So the basic action sequence is pretty simple, but it becomes really interesting with how you strategize depending on the map and the biomes and how.
And now we just did one action.
This was just one action each.
Yeah, don't we have 2 actions?
No, one action.
One action. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so one action per turn.
Yeah.
And maybe I would migrate. Maybe I would like to try and get over there. Probably, maybe.
I want to get to the swamp so I can.
Yeah. So I would probably make something.
Into a T-Rex because that's cooler.
Yeah, of course. So maybe I would go like that and move to here. And that's my migrate action, and then it would be your turn, and so on.
Yeah.
All right.
You can fight. Then you can stomp on eggs, and you can eat others. If you're a carnivore, you can eat the other dinosaurs. And so.
Yeah, no, that's just competing with them,
Yeah,
and that's similar. You compete them off the biome. So that's the one. What happens here was actually the desert appeared, so that should also have been placed. And this one, I was rolling now a jungle, so I can put that on any kind of jungle. I would probably put it in the head of you.
Yeah.
And then I would roll to see if it spreads, and this one will spread 2 biomes, but I don't have 2 biomes, so it will only spread. Following the jungle where I placed it, it can spread to here. So now this would all be desert. The only thing that makes is that any herd there can't be bigger than your starting herd. So you can't add more dinos at the moment, but you can spread somewhere else, and it's not like it's wiping you out. Or anything.
No.
But now we have a desert there, and that's a climate.
And they develop a very dry sense of humor.
That's yeah. They typically, as their father have, or whatever you are. All right. One final note I would like to say before we wrap up is that we're very happy to be able to publish these books that you had. That was where you made most of the illustrations from the start. And we're going to publish them in English.
Because they haven't been available.
They haven't been available in English.
Yeah, no.
So we're going to publish them, and that's going to be part of this process. And there's probably going to be, this is coming to Kickstarter in like a month or 2. And there's going to be probably some kind of a package deal there if you want the books as well as the game. So yeah, that's the last thing I had. Anything you want to add?
No, I just think it's a really cool game.
I am definitely agree.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be part of this.
Yeah.
And that you wanted to base a game on my designs.
Yes. And I'm very happy that we got to work together and that your beautiful art could be put into a game like this.
And that we can sort of, I mean, I like how the science creeps into the game. It's very much based on science.
Yeah, and you like sort of, that as we do, so that it's a good fit in that way. And we really want, I personally and like
based on scientific concepts, but then with it's obviously speculative and it's a game, and we take liberties with the but it's still very well researched.
Yes, and that's the way it should be. When it's an Ion game. All right. Any final questions? Let's see now. I don't think so. Yeah, no more questions there. So thank you very much for joining in, everybody who was there listening. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon. All right.